It's time to refresh your yard during spring backyard days at the Home Depot. Get low prices guaranteed on propane grills starting at $179, like the Next Grill 3-burner gas grill. Or get $50 off a select Weber Spirit Grill and bring big flavor to your backyard. Then set the scene with Hampton-based string lights that bring it all together. Shop spring backyard days for 7 days at the Home Depot, now through May 6th. Exclusions apply. See homedepot.com/price match for details.
This episode is brought to you by Redfin. You're listening to a podcast, which means you're probably multitasking. Maybe even scrolling home listings on Redfin, saving homes without expecting to get them. But Redfin isn't just built for endless browsing. It's built to help you find and own a home. With agents who close twice as many deals, when you find the one, you've got a real shot at getting it. Get started at redfin.com. Own the dream.
Ryan Reynolds here from Mint Mobile. I don't know if you knew this, but anyone can get the same premium wireless for $15 a month plan that I've been enjoying. It's not just for celebrities. So do like I did and have one of your assistants switch you to Mint Mobile today. I'm told it's super easy to do at mintmobile.com/switch.
Upfront payment of $45 for 3-month plan, equivalent to $15 per month required. Intro rate first 3 months only, then full price plan options available. Taxes and fees extra. See full terms at mintmobile.com.
Welcome back to The Hook Rocks. This is Jay Scott, welcoming you to the podcast once again. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for listening. I do appreciate it. I just want to, before we begin, mention how thankful I am for everybody listening and everybody tuning in. We've had some really cool special moments this week. I mentioned on the previous podcast that we hit the top 40 on the same day in the UK and the US, which is a pretty big deal for music commentary podcasts because there's a lot of us, right? And the next day after I mentioned that, we hit the top 25. We came in at number 24 in the U.S. for music commentary podcasts. So thank you, all of you, for listening and for staying listeners and always tuning in to myself and the wonderful guests that we have on the show, whether it's a legacy artist, whether it's a listener who has now been a contributor like Chris Corradetti or Skylab, Rob at Skylab Tapes, or Robin the Hood on Twitter. I know I'm forgetting some. Kaz from the Heavy Rock Show, Christian Eagle, and also the great new bands that have been guests for the New Music Spotlight. We just had Classless Act on. We had The Warning before them. We've had some of the great new bands, like some of the bands that are the faces of the new wave of rock on this podcast, and it's special because I love talking with them, and you guys are listening, and it shows. And I just want to thank you for me, being able to get into your eardrums and listening to the podcast over and over again. I can't thank you enough, from the bottom of my heart. Thank you very much for that. I do greatly appreciate it, and I never take you guys for granted. I'm always looking for great new bands, bringing back bands that have been on before, and trying to give you the best content that is out there. Hopefully it's smart. Hopefully it's intelligent. Hopefully we make you think a little bit. We open your eyes and your hearts to things, and hopefully we keep doing that. And I plan on doing that. So I just want to get that out of the way before we begin. I want to make sure that I thank all of you, because this week was pretty damn special. We are part of the Pantheon Podcast Network. Great network to be a part of. They are also very supportive, a great family. I always mentioned, a handful of podcasts that I've been able to communicate with and have on my show or have been on their show. Cobras and Fire, Tom and Zeus at Shout Out Loudcast, Carmen Apiece, who I've had on with Vinny Appice, and local Chicago promoter Ron Anesti on the Hangin' and Bangin'. Mistress Carrie, who was an awesome guest. I want to have her on again. She was great. Martin Popoff, the rock historian. We did a great episode on the new wave of British heavy metal. And yeah, just awesome group to be a part of. You do have to check out The Real Me, which is a new production hosted by Roger Daltrey of The Who. A very inspiring story about teens who are battling cancer, who have found the power of music. And it is so inspiring. It is so touching for music lovers, any human being who wants to be inspired by something. Please go watch it. You can follow at Teen Cancer USA. They were a big part of this production, and it's pretty special. Go check it out. It's on Pantheon Podcast. You will love it. I guarantee your allergies may act up, during the episode. So please go find that. I'm hoping to have Erin Alden, who's the co-host. So I need to send an invite out to her, because love to have her on the podcast to talk with her about it. Don't forget to follow us on Twitter at The Hook Rocks. Follow us on Facebook. Follow us wherever you do podcasts. And don't forget to set your app to automatic download so you get all the brand new Hook Rocks episodes right to your phone, Android, iPhone, whatever. Great way to commute to work, listening to us talk about rock music, new bands, legacy artists, great commentary. So please check that out. You get to hear all the old episodes. We've got almost 300. We're approaching 300. I can't believe that we're going to hit that milestone this year. That's pretty special too. So what are we talking about tonight? We are doing a review of. Well, I should probably stop calling them reviews, because I don't want to consider myself a person who reviews things, because usually I'm not objective. Or I am objective, but I'm more a fan than anything. And I do have a rule. I never talk about anything I don't like on these episodes, on my social media. Very rarely will you get a glimpse of something that I haven't connected with, because number one, there's enough of that stuff out there that people will tell you what to listen to and why you shouldn't like something. And I'm not into that. It's all clickbait. I don't want to do that. I tell you things that I enjoy. I am a fan. I am not a journalist. And when I go to a show, it's because I'm going because I'm a fan. I'm not going with, attempting to take notes and sit there with a pencil behind my ear or whatever people do now. I don't know, in the age of technology. But you can't say you don't like something in terms of music, because it's all subjective. And you connect with music throughout different times of your life, whatever you're going through. It's not fair to the artists, not fair to the bands to tell people what you don't like at that very moment, because at that very moment, you may have a lot of things going on in your life that affects how you absorb the music. You might be in a bad mood. You might not. You might just be annoyed at something that happened throughout the day. Your mind isn't right. And as I've mentioned, music is all about timing. What is good today may not be good 10 years from now, or vice versa. Music has a way of evolving with you. So if you hear something that you're really not into now, maybe down the road you'll listen to it and you'll enjoy it, right? You'll like, wow, this is great. I never really liked this artist before, but now, I mean, like, it really connects with me. How many times have you sat in a club or a bar and a song is being played before a band is coming on stage and you're like, wow, I've never heard this song in this element before. And it's never given me this vibe before, but it's really connecting with me at this very moment. So to tell you something that, oh, this sucks, and oh, I don't like it, or this is why you shouldn't like it, I'm not here to do that. So please don't ever consider me a rock journalist. If you want to hear things I like and maybe you think our music palettes are similar, you should probably check it out, right? You should probably go listen to it. Or if you hear someone on an episode, like we just did reviews of the top albums over the past 3 months, they may tell you something that you should listen to or you should check out. So that's really the purpose of these episodes where I do, quote unquote, air quotes, reviews of albums or concerts. And we've got a great show to review for you tonight. October 5th, Tuesday, in Braidwood, Illinois, which is pretty close to where Jesus left his sandals, meaning it's in the middle of nowhere. And here I am taking my son on a school night, because I am the father of the year, to a rock and roll show off the highway, about an hour, 10 minutes away, to see two great emerging bands, two faces of the new wave of rock, Joyous Wolf and Of Limbo. I had the pleasure of seeing Joyous Wolf back in June at a place called The Forge in Joliet. They're that band that I have to see every time they come into town, because they're absolutely phenomenal. So I was trying to decide whether I should go or not. It's a Tuesday. Do I really want to drive that far? My son's like, Dad, I want to go. If you haven't followed him, he's at the Youth Rocks on Twitter. He's like, Dad, I missed Joyous Wolf because I wasn't in town and I was out of the country, and I want to see them. They're one of my favorite bands. They're one of my favorite bands too. One of my favorite new bands. And I was like, all right. And Of Limbo is playing. I'm like, yeah, Of Limbo is playing. So I'm like, all right. So I pick him up from school. I said, all right, we're leaving in about an hour, and we get home. We go out to dinner. We hit our usual spot when we're headed to shows out that way. He got an Italian beef sandwich. I got an Italian sausage sandwich, which I kind of make my own concoction. I always order it with sweet peppers, mozzarella cheese melted on garlic bread. It is wonderful. I know outside of Chicago, outside of New York, maybe some other places across the country, they don't really have top quality Italian sausage. But if you ever get a chance to, I know Portillo's is going to be going public. Portillo's is a Italian fast food place in Chicago. And they have probably some of the best fast food you'll ever eat. Although it may change now because it's going public. But if they open up a Portillo's near you, which I hope is coming, they're supposed to open like 60 stores or locations across the country over like the next 2 years or something like that. You got to go. But back to my story. So we go out to eat. We head out to the show. We get there, and I see Jake Davies at the bar. I'm like, I don't want to bother him. He's probably doing his pre-show, whatever. So I go in. We sit down. We're just kind of waiting. There's a local band playing. I check down out for a little bit. Not really into the kind of screaming, Cookie Monster voice that some of these guys do. So wasn't really into that. So I was just kind of waiting. And we go in, Of Limbo hits the stage, and man, just a whirlwind full of energy. I had Jake back on, I think it was 2019 when I first started doing this, either 2019 or early 2020. And when we were talking, he mentioned that the band sounds like a merge between Alice in Chains without the heroin and Van Halen with the party. And that really is a perfect way to describe the band. They put on a hell of a show. Fantastic. They played for close to an hour. They did a couple covers. They did the Beastie Boys, You Gotta Fight for Your Right to Party, or Fight for Your Right to Party. And they did a Warren G song, which was interesting. The song is Regulate. And they pulled it off. They did a great job. Like, I remember that song from back in the day, and when they started playing it, I was like, all right, how's this going to go over? And it went over great. It sounded awesome. And if there is a band that can pull it off, it's definitely Of Limbo. I mean, they just bring that energy. They bring a party on stage. They are a lot of fun to hear. I mean, they did songs like Nicotine. They did Get On It. They did Run Out of Time. They did a lot of their newer stuff. They're going to be releasing singles throughout this year and next. I hope at some point they put it all together and put it out on a physical copy, either vinyl or, a sleeve CD, just so, because I still love collecting the physical copy of music. I still think that's very important to bands and having people connect with their music. I still think you have a different relationship with music when that happens, because when you can't touch something and physically touch something, it just gives you a different feel. It takes a bit longer for you to connect with it, in my opinion. When you have a physical copy and you've got the vinyl, and you pull out the vinyl and it's got this beautiful color and it's got this artwork, and the CD has the package and everything, and it really works. I hope more bands keep doing it. Even if they do a limited run just for shows, like you've got to go out to the show in order to get the CD. And then when you're done with the tour, you take whatever you have left and you sell it online. But I think that's a great way to get people out, because I know for myself, and I know there's a lot of listeners out there, that if the only way they can get a physical copy of the music is at the show, I think more people would go. I think that's a great way to bring people in, bring an audience into wherever you're playing. But they were great. They really were fantastic. They brought a lot of energy. They were really interactive with the crowd, and just keep looking forward to new music, from them and from the band. Got a chance to meet them after the show. They were really warm and welcoming. They were great with my son, who got a T-shirt, got stickers. He's all into them. And got pictures taken with Jake, I think a couple other guys, but just a fantastic time, fantastic experience checking them out. The two brothers front the band. They're originally from Australia, so that might explain some of the wild and craziness that you do see when you go see them. They're a band that needs a big stage, as does Joyous Wolf, but they're a band that would really play well on a big stage, because they really do bring it. You got Jake and Luke Davies on lead vocals and guitar. The bass player, Rob Gravely, man, that guy can play. Fuck. He is fantastic. Great bass player. And Christopher Bug Bristol on drums. The rhythm section just really holds it down. I mean, they really just nail it. They are definitely the backbone of the band behind Luke and Jake. And all four of them got a great presence on stage. So another great new band for you to check out, Of Limbo. I talked with Jake at the show, and I'm hoping to have him on again. Hopefully before the end of the year, we can get him on. So I know I've got some things scheduled here, but hopefully we can work it out either November or December. It'd be great to have him back on and kind of have him give us an update of where they're at since the last time he was on. So on to the headliner, on to Joyous Wolf. Both these bands, I think, are touring with one bus, so that should be an exciting time, an exciting drive to each venue that they're playing at. That's got to be really interesting because they both know each other. To kind of give you a little bit of history, they're both from Long Beach, and they do play out a lot together locally in California, and they've kind of been rising through the ranks together. And it's nice to see that camaraderie with two bands from the same area, and nice to see them on tour, having each other's back, playing with each other, playing with your buddies on tour makes the days on the road, the days and nights on the road so much easier, I can imagine. And I can just imagine the fun and conversations on that tour bus. But Joyous Wolf, again, like I said, saw them in June and was definitely ready to see them again. They are a very powerful band, another band that needs a bigger stage. Lots of energy. The band brings it. Nick Reese is very similar to a Luke Spiller of the Struts, where he is very interactive with the crowd. Moves and grooves, man. It's like Prince, James Brown, and like Eddie Vedder all rolled up into one. It's very cool, very interesting. He's got a fantastic voice, but like getting back to his stage presence, you can't take your eyes off of him. So he is definitely a front man that you want to watch. Blake Allard, the great guitar player, great young guitar player. I've had him on as well. Just absolutely nails it. He's a guy, I think I mentioned in the last episode that I talked about them when they played. He kind of gets lost in his playing. He closes his eyes and he's just feeling what he's playing and what he's doing. Just a fantastic, great guitar player. We did a show, myself and my son, the Youth Rocks, did an episode on the guitar heroes of today, and Blake was part of that discussion. We did 3 guitar players, Tyler Bryant, John Nato, and Blake. So check that out. That was done a couple of months ago, 2-3 months ago. So these are his heroes. And he was telling Blake after the show, and he was very gracious too as well, like how he spends hours learning Blake's songs and Blake's riffs. I hear it because I hear him playing all the time. He's playing Odyssey. He's playing Mother Rebel. He's trying to learn Fearless. He's doing all that stuff. I mean, this is one of his bands, and I'm glad that as a young kid, you know, I listen to this stuff, but he's really connected with it. It's also really cool, I have to say, with my relationship with my son is, you know how when you're a teen, you don't want to hang out with your parents? I don't have that issue. Like, he wants to go to shows with me. He wants to go to concerts. Dad, can we go see this band? Dad, can we bring my friends to this show and this and whatever? So that's an awesome thing. And I'm very happy that we have that dynamic because we do talk a lot about music. We talk a lot about sports. We've traveled a lot together. And he really has connected with a lot of great new bands like Of Limbo, like Joyous Wolf. He got a Joyous Wolf shirt and an Of Limbo shirt. He's like the T-shirt kid at school, is always wearing a rock shirt pretty much 4 out of the 5 days a week or 3 out of the 5 days a week. So he's wearing the Of Limbo and the Joyous Wolf T-shirts to school, loud and proud. And I think there's like 6,000 to 7,000 kids in his high school. So he's always going, Dad, I'm noticing a lot more rock T-shirts this year. So he's always scouting out, always looking for kids to jam with. Joyous Wolf has really given him, or has been one of the bands that has given him new music to explore, and I'm very thankful for that as a father. But they did a great set list. They did a couple songs, Mother Rebel and Quiet Heart, 2 songs from their Place and Time EP, and of course a lot of the new stuff. Fearless included in that. Fearless is one of the best songs, I think, in 2021. It really does capture a vibe and an emotion. It's got a great hook. It really does pull you in. I have to also mention their rhythm section. Greg on bass and Robert on drums just really hold it down. They are both beasts, really give a full sound to the band. I mean, they just, both times I've seen it, I've really recognized that. I want to have both those guys on. I know I've had Nick on and Blake, but those two, I'd love to have a conversation with those two because as most bass and drummers, it's always, they're more or less in the background in terms of like the dynamic of most bands where it's the focal points are the guitar player and the singer. But these guys really deserve a mention because they are definitely a great rhythm section, man. Robert's got a great pocket, and Greg can just really hammer that bass. So I need to get on that. I'm going to have those two on. I want to try to get those two on. But they did a lot of new stuff, as they did last time I saw them in Joliet. They're really working out the songs that are going to be on the new album. I think they're probably going to release a single either by the end of the year or around the first of the year. But their album is probably going to be late winter, early spring. So look for that. I wish it would come out now because I can't wait, because their songs really do jam. They ended the set with Talk to Me, which is a very cool song, a very interesting topic about loss and about how you still want to connect with people that aren't around anymore and you miss that connection with them. And sometimes you just want to be able to pick up the phone and talk with them, and you can't. And it's a very interesting topic for a song. So I really do enjoy that. Karma is another fantastic song. Storm, and I want to say they did play Get Myself Right, but they did a whole bunch of new stuff, which I'm really looking forward to with this album. And just a great show. Again, we were able to meet the band and talk with them more. And that's another great thing, too, about going to see these bands at these smaller venues. You get to interact with them, and you get to meet them, and you get to talk to them. For myself, it's really cool. For my son, who's 16, it's really special. Between, this night, talking with both bands, meeting the Black Moods a month or so ago, he really enjoys it. Meeting Doug Aldrich, after the show, he loves it, and I'm happy for him that he's had that opportunity. But if you really want to go check out some new great music, it's not that expensive. You're going to hear great new music. You're going to be able to interact with the bands. It's a win-win for you. There's nothing that is negative about going to see a new band. Take your kids, take your teenagers to the show, because that's what rock music needs. They need more ears from the youth to connect with what's happening now. So, if you're kind of on the fence of wanting to go see them, but you got a young kid who's listening to music that you're not too crazy about, take him to this show. Or take him to go see a new band. These two artists are on tour, I think, through the fall, through October into November. And they're playing at small venues, local to wherever you're at. Check the websites. Go check out joyouswolf.com. I also post a lot on my Twitter where they're playing. Join Bands in Town, or go search them up on Bands in Town, and they'll tell you where they're playing. But you can't miss them. You can't miss the show because it's phenomenal, but you can't miss with the opportunity of having a good time with two great bands that really do bring a lot of energy, great music. They sound incredible, and I highly recommend it. So very happy we went on a school night. It was totally worth it. We didn't, we got back, around 11 o'clock, 11:15, which my son's usually up anyway. He says he goes to bed, but he's usually up. But it wasn't too bad. So definitely worth the trip. Definitely worth it for all of you who are listening. Go check them out. Two great new emerging bands with a new wave of rock that bring a lot of energy, and you will enjoy. So I'm Jay Scott. This is The Hook Rocks. Happy Saturday to you. We'll chat soon. Thanks.
minute of it. Loving every minute of it. Can't get off forgetting on it. Can't get enough from getting on it.